All right, so we've got about 40 minutes to the opening bell. This morning, sort of as I kind of thought would be the case, overall market, S&P is coming back down. So last night I did my game plan for the week ahead. We were looking at how the market closed after hours Friday, pretty weak. You know, it was a red candle, and then sure enough, pre-market, we've pulled back more. So this is a little bit of course, when the market, as pre-market starts, European and Asian markets are still trading. So when they're down, that can weigh on the US markets. When they're up, that can contribute to a gap up in the US market. So we do have a gap down here on the S&P, and we're coming down pretty close to the daily 200 moving average, which is at 418. So we're at 417.34. It is worth noting that lighter volume pre-market is very typical, and higher volume certainly comes in once the bell rings. So, you know, light volume, it is a gap down, but it's on lighter volume. So gaps can retrace when it's in the S&P 500. So that's a little bit of a factor right now. It's certainly something to be aware of because it is a little bit of a headwind. So we've got that. I was watching from Friday, DNAA. This was a special acquisition company. They announced a merger. Stock ticker has changed to AKLI. So AKLI is the new ticker for DNAA. And this is the chart right now. Pre-market at 4 a.m. hit a high of $61. So it's maybe worth continuing to watch, but the volume is light and the spreads are big right now. GCT was the other that I was watching, and this one I've already taken a couple trades on. It's holding up. I've been a little timid on it because, of course, I did finish red on it on Friday, but right now, little problem that we have these higher volume red candles, and there's actually a false breakout on that candle right there. So it's I don't know, if it breaks over 60, that would be wonderful, but I'm not sure if it's going to happen. But when you kind of step back and look at the big picture, it's clearly an ascending wedge. It's a little messy, but it is clearly an ascending wedge. So maybe it's just right idea, but timing, maybe I'm a little early on it for that break of 60. But I think if we break 60, we could get a move up to 65, 70, maybe 75 or 80, maybe higher. So that's very optimistic, but on this type of stock, it's not impossible. Okay, so that one's on watch. And then we've got our gap scanner. SVRE is the leading gapper, up 52%. I could have taken a couple trades on it, but I didn't. I just wasn't sure. It looked like it was going to move enough. So I didn't break the ice with my first trade on this one. I waited until GCT, but a couple little opportunities there, but then kind of false break near the high. So now sort of looking like a head and shoulders pattern. Not perfect. SGFY up 41%. Price is a little higher. Looks like suitors line up. So buyout talk. SMMT floats a bit higher. Price is a bit lower. KRBP. This one is too cheap for me. XRTX. This one's $2. A little cheap, but not a great chart yet. So, you know, we've got nothing really on the gap scanner that's giving me a great, like a really great excited feeling. SVRE is the leader, so I have that on a side chart just in case, but I'm just not sure. It's been a little more thickly traded. So the nice thing about it, though, for what it's worth, is that it is a blue sky setup. All-time high was just over 417. So we're at all-time highs. So that's a benefit. It's a blue sky setup, somewhat recent IPO. So you've got some of those things going for you, but you can tell it's not the cleanest chart we've ever seen. Right now it's starting to curl back off VWAP, but I don't know. We'll see. For those tuning in, reminder, today's the last day of our opening sale for Day Trade Dash. So for those who are going to watch the morning show on YouTube, this is the last day to use the 30% off coupon code. So for those of you guys that want access to the same tools that I'm using every single day when I'm trading, these are the scans right here for Day Trade Dash. So you have access to the scans. You have access to a Dash chat room. You don't have access to the educational classes or to the mentoring. That's for Warrior members only. But for those that are looking for the tools, the news, and if you want my live audio video broadcast, that is part of Dash. So I hope you guys check that out, because today is the last day of the opening sale. We just launched this summer. So we've just released it to all levels of membership this last few weeks. So thank you guys who have already joined. We have one of the goals for me is to take all of the new customers coming in, the new members, take the feedback and try to put that back into the platform. So we're looking to hire 2 new developers, senior developers, to join us. We're interviewing people right now, and we're going to keep building out this software to be your #1 day trade dashboard. And that'll benefit, of course, Warrior members as well. So thank you guys who are all members and are supporting the tool and the platform. At this point right now, I'm going to watch the top of the hour, and we'll see whether or not we have any breaking news at 9 a.m. It's possible that we will. Reminder for those streaming the morning show on YouTube, you're on a slightly delayed broadcast versus the ultra low latency broadcasts that Warrior Pro and Day Trade Dash members have. And we also have ads on the YouTube channel, which we don't have, of course, for members. So just bear that in mind. The broadcast can get slightly delayed behind real time. So make sure you're managing your risk, you understand the patterns, and certainly don't try to blindly follow me or anyone else. My hope is that this morning show helps you develop a watch list, helps you get an understanding of what's moving today, and gives you a little taste of the strategy that I trade every single day. Not quite halfway to my daily goal yet, but making some progress. AKLI, this one needs to get back over 41.70. Just very light volume. After such a big move on Friday, I'm kind of surprised, but maybe the ticker change isn't helping it. Live trading archives are included for Warrior members only, not for Dash subscribers. So subscribers over at Day Trade Dash, you're getting access to the tools, the news, the scanners, the chat, and an ultra low latency broadcast. None of the educational, the separate educational content, the classes, the live trading archives, the mentor sessions, etc. Of course, there's educational content just through the broadcast, but it's not exactly the same as being part of the Warrior Pro curriculum. Yep. Your double top is at 77. A little bit of resistance up here as we're forming a bit of a cup pattern. So we'll look for the handle formation and try to establish risk off the bottom of the handle. So the perfect double top is at 77. Big batch of sell orders just went through there at 69 and 60. Like maybe 20,000 shares or something. GCT is on side chart. Yeah, Warrior Pro also includes Warrior Starter. But you guys are welcome to check that out over on the website here. So 5-minute high 75. PEV popping up on some news. High was 420. Somewhat recent IPO. High is 850. Not buying SVRE up here. It's too extended on the 5. Just going to run into resistance at this area. GCT still watching. So it's a little tricky when you have a pattern that breaks through the double top. I usually would look for a retest of that level. I'd want to see that level hold. Your high there is 93, your low of that candle 72, so you've got kind of a big swing. It just would have been cleaner if we had consolidated under that level for a breakout, because then you'd have 5-minute traders that would come into it. Right now, you're only going to have 1-minute traders buying this up. Which is fine, but you're just not going to expect the same level of follow through as if we already had a 5-minute chart as well. So the fact that it's blue sky certainly gives it more juice, a little bit more potential. On the 1-minute, you had pullback, kind of a messy pullback there. And then right here, you're getting a third pullback. So given it's the leading gapper and has a strong daily chart, let's keep it on watch to see how the 5-minute pattern forms. The developers are for hiring new developers to continue building out Day Trade Dash. So I have some more things that I want to roll out. And so now that we've launched it, we've got it out there. We were going to bring some new developers on to continue to build out the platform. So you can expect enhancements and new features in the future. End of the year, James, I'd say. A couple months, few months. I was checking them out the other day. They're running, but they're in a beta testing environment. So this area here, unfortunately, has higher risk of a false breakout because it's still extended on the 5. We'll check out GCT while we wait for that 5-minute pattern to form. So GCT pulled back. It's a very choppy 5-minute and a choppy 1-minute as well. So levels on GCT would be up around, I mean, it hit 58.67. So because that level was a little lower, you might almost be able to draw a descending resistance line through here. It's not bad, but it's there. SVRE, still waiting on a little bit more pullback. Maybe around 460, something like that. I'd like to see the 5-minute candle touch the 9 moving average for a pullback. That would be great. Good morning, Eric. Let's see. AKLI, still below VWAP. No setup there on that for right now. SVRE, this candle is an inside candle. It's made neither a new high nor a new low. Your 1-minute chart is an ABCD pattern with a pivot at 89, but that's only 4 cents off the high. So it's really up high. And unfortunately, this as a 5-minute trade would have false breakout risk because it's still extended. It hasn't pulled back a lot. So in this area, a trade would, I think, have to just be like a scalp. I just don't know that it results in a really nice sustained move higher. The low down here is 68. So we're kind of actually coming more towards the low. MACD is crossing over, volume's declining. But 65 could be, 65 is the 20 moving average. So that could be an okay place to watch for a dip. For those tuning in, thank you guys as always for being here. I want to remind you, in case you didn't already know, that trading is risky and most beginner traders do lose money. So you should definitely take it slow. Don't trade with money you can't afford to lose. So buying this dip at 68, which is a tap off of the 20 moving average, I only got a partial fill. So a little disappointing, but high of this candle, that was off the 20 moving average. High of this candle is 80. So watching to see if we get back through 80, and then I can add. Generally, I would look to add more off of 65, 64, because we're starting to form a 5-minute pullback, but I think it's going to be another 5 minutes before we actually get a nice breakout. That'll be the first candle to make a new high. So I'm going to try to look to, and you know, one of the things that's nice here on this is that I do have a little bit of a cushion on the day. I'm up 1,300 bucks. So I can afford to hold this a little bit and see whether or not it wants to open up. GCT is popping up a little bit here. We know 58 is an important level. SVRE, keeping that on watch. So SVRE, GCT, those are the two I'm watching at the moment. High of the current 5-minute is 80, so the next 5-minute candle could be the moment of truth on SVRE. Right now just holding at 68. The MACD is not perfect, I agree, because you have that crossover. I see it too. And then I think the things that it has going for it, leading gapper, daily chart, so I think that that might be enough, especially as we get closer to the open, but we'll just have to see. So high of this current candle still 80. We've got 2 minutes left on the 5. Watching to add a little bit more off of 65. So orders at 65, putting the order, in this case, on the bid to see if I can fill off of the 20 moving average. Doesn't always work, but sometimes I can get filled down there. So about 1 minute left on this current candle. Okay, so the low there is 65. I'm going to put another order here at 69. I just want to see if I can buy, if it dips below 69 or 70 just for a second. So getting filled there at 69 on the bid. And now I'm going to start positioning with 30 seconds left on this candle for the first 5-minute candle to make a new high over 480. So new orders at 485. And then we'll look for a test of $5. Okay, so this candle has about 10 seconds left and we're looking for the break through 80. So add spots are going to be 75, 76, 77. New order is a limit, set up at 5. Watching down here. Looking to buy this dip. Added at 70. Now looking for the pop through 75. Next add is 77. So there's 74, looking for 77, and then looking for the first candle to make a new high. So starting to get dialed in on this. There's 74 on the ask. Added at 74. I'm looking for that pop back through 77. Going flat on the trade for 113. If it's not going to pop, then I'm wasting my time. That's the spot where you see we had this resistance and it should have broken. So I'm just going to take the $100 off the table. We'll let it pull back to the 9 on the 5, which is down towards 57. GCT still on watch on a side chart. So the low of this candle here was 62. I kind of thought that that was going to sell off more than it did. You've got 65 on the bid, 64 on the bid. MACD, you know, is negative, so I think it's probably better at this point to wait for the next 5-minute candle to open. That creates a double top there at 80. Seller at 79. Looking back to GCT, want to watch it at the open to see if it gets one of those spikes. So 57.50, 58, and then up to 59 and 60. Starter on GCT down there. SVRE. SVRE. Bought that dip down there at 64. Double bottom. So I'm starting on this one because I'm looking for the first 5-minute candle to make a new high. So if I can hold at 64 and then add at 80, then the target's 5. So new order is at 480. This candle has about a minute left, and so I'm going to look for the first 5-minute candle to make a new high. We've come pretty close to the 9 moving average. MACD is going flat here. We'll see if it curls back through positive. Added at 75. We've got 30 seconds left on this candle, and I think now we're getting dialed in for the breakthrough 80. Watching 80 to add, added at 80, next adds 85. Adding at 82 for the break of 85, and now we're going to look for this squeeze back up to $5. So high of this candle's 82, watch 85, added at 85, now looking for 88. I want to catch that trade through 90, and I'd love to see if we get a move up to $5. So right now we've got a nice volume profile. High of this candle's 85. I think this is a spot where we should watch the first 1-minute pullback for the break through this high here, which is 85. Okay, so new order goes at 86. That way I'm ready to add. Adding right there for the break of 86, there's 89. New order goes at profit there at 84. New order goes at 95. High of this candle is 89. Added 88 for the breakthrough 90. Now looking for 95. There's 93. Some profit opportunity up there. Nice trade. Puts me a little more than halfway to my daily goal. Average right now is 79. Sizing down a little bit. Let's see. Watching dips. Kind of surprised that we didn't break through 5. High was 93. Double top. So when we have a double top, that kind of requires a new 5-minute setup to form. So another period of consolidation, holding the pattern, and then a trade on a second or third attempt through 95. Nothing else is hitting the high a day Momo scanner right now. Low back here was 62. S&P is still on the low side. Want to keep an eye on that. GCT selling off here. So pull back on GCT. So this just dropped from 56 down to 53.50. It's a pretty big pullback. AKLI 41.70. If that broke, then you're looking for a move back up towards 60. SVRE double top right now. We'll keep that on watch. So I have 3 stocks watching going into the open: SVRE, GCT, and AKLI, and then the S&P 500. So I have a little bit of a profit cushion on the morning. Still holding small size on SVRE. AKLI. Usually I like this kind of setup for a breakthrough VWAP, but it is a little riskier because the volume's lighter and spreads are bigger. SVRE is easier to manage risk on. So when we get that kind of dip, I like to see if it curls back up. $69 on the bid. So flat on the rest of the trade, and looking now for a bigger dip on SVRE. Whether that gives me another trade off of 62 or 63, we'll see. Bought the dip at 68 on SVRE, kind of double bottoming here. I want to see if we pop back up through 74. Watching for an ad over 75. Got about 90 seconds to the open. Flat at 65, small loss. All right, well, we've got about a minute to the bell, sitting at $3,365 so far this morning. So a little more than halfway to the daily goal. And I've got a couple that I'm watching: GCT, AKLI, and SVRE. For those tuning in for the morning show on YouTube, reminder, today's the last day for the opening sale 30% off coupon code for Day Trade Dash. So those of you guys that aren't interested in going through the Warrior Pro curriculum or the Warrior Starter curriculum, but do want to still be able to see my ultra low latency broadcast and use the same tools that I'm using each day, you can sign up over at Day Trade Dash. So today's the last day of that 30% off coupon. So make sure you use it or lose it. And we will be back at it first thing tomorrow morning. Today at 11, we have a premiere of episode 2 of my podcast, which was posted last week on the podcast, but will go on YouTube today at 11. So you guys can stay tuned for that. All right, that's the game plan here, and we're going to keep trading. Hopefully we see some good opportunities. SVRE there, popping up to 75, leaving that alone. AKLI at 35, GCT at 54. So right now, just sitting tight at the open. Dip at 55 on SVRE. Nice dip trade. Some profit coming back up to 67. Stop at break even on the rest. GCT watching. Big spreads on GCT here coming into the open.